Okay, so this video is just to kind of help you figure out some of the techniques that you might want to use during the tambourine excerpt. Let's talk about just how to hold it first. So I got my left hand gripping it right here. Notice how I have my thumb and I'm really pushing it up against the head of the tambourine. That's to mute the resonance of the head as you strike it. So that like you can actually hear, hopefully that's coming through the video, you can actually hear the tone of the drum coming out. But if you push your thumb, pretty hard, depending on how loose your tambourine is, you might have to push it pretty hard. You can kind of get that tone out. So the majority of the thing that you hear is the actual tambourine part. So that's how you hold it. Default roll is, I would say, start this way, vertical. Okay. However, you want to end horizontal to reduce the risk of these the tambourine, the cymbals, from jangling after you want your roll to be done. So something like this. That way, it guarantees that there's no excess jingle since you're ending flat. That you're ending flat. So that's that'll do you good for mezzo forte and forte rolls. Or if you have a piano roll, something very quiet, you can do the same thing. But if you want to improve a more advanced technique, you can do thumb rolls or a finger roll. Here is a thumb roll. I'm actually more of a fan of using my middle finger and positioning it in this way. So here's my middle finger, pointer goes on top, thumb goes on bottom to kind of really reinforce it. And you wet it a little bit. And you just lightly go across the surface around the edge, and you should be able to get a fairly good roll sound after a little bit of time. Not to mention, if you do it this way, you can have a clean ending of your rolls by doing this with your palm at the end. See, I'm kind of going like this. All right, so that's one way to do quiet rolls. You can still do but I feel like it's a little cleaner and maybe a little bit smoother on the quieter end if you can manage doing the middle finger or the thumb roll. So in the fourth measure of the excerpt, there are some 16th notes that might be a little tricky to play with just one hand. That's kind of fast. A lot of times tambourine players will actually have a chair handy. I have this chair. And then lift one leg up so you have this knee as almost like a music stand. And that way the tambourine is just stable. That frees up both hands, and if you maybe just rest both palms on the tambourine head, you can actually tap out the rhythm that might be too quick with just one hand. Right? It makes it nice and clean versus you just got to be careful getting back from this mode into this mode. You don't really get a lot of time to do that in the excerpt for the audition, but the quarter rest should be just enough time to get back to kind of default position. So yeah, hopefully this information helps, and good luck with this excerpt.